Welcome to the RealTea podcast, brought to you by Tennessee Realtors and sponsored by Rule First, helping you live closer to what matters. I'm your host, Angela Shields. This podcast is created for Tennessee Realtors to get the tea on all things real estate in Tennessee. We'll bring you engaging conversations with esteemed guests in the real estate industry and cover a wide array of topics, including current events, governmental affairs, education, and legal updates. All right, so I am excited today to welcome Cindy Bradley to the RealTea podcast. And Cindy is the Tennessee Realtors Good Neighbor Award recipient for 2025. Cindy is the founder of the Ground Hospice House in Knoxville. Is that correct?
That's right.
We are so excited to have you join us because you are one of the top 10 finalists for the National Association of Realtors Good Neighbor Award. And that is super exciting. But before we start talking about that, we have a tradition here on the RealTea podcast. And so I have to ask you your very first question. And that is, what do you take in your teacup?
I don't drink tea.
You don't drink tea?
I don't.
Not even sweet tea?
Oh, yeah, I drink sweet tea. Tea. Unfortunately, I use artificial sweeteners.
Oh, well, that's okay. I drink Diet Coke, so that's an artificial sweetener.
I live on Diet Coke.
Well, I was going to say, hey, we're in the South. Everybody has to have sweet tea, right?
Absolutely.
Well, let's get to the important topic. So you received the Tennessee Realtors Good Neighbor Award. And like I said, you're now a finalist for the NAR Good Neighbor Award because you did something very, very special, something that was very needed. And you started a hospice house there in Knoxville. And the name of it is Sacred Ground. So let's talk about that. How did that come to be?
My mother we had a residential hospice here for a number of years that was run by one of the local hospitals. It closed in 2017, and my husband passed away in April of 2017, and they closed the hospice in June. And God laid it on my heart to just do something about it. A lot of states have hospices in every community. The state of Tennessee only has 2 licensed hospices, and one's in Nashville, one's in Murfreesboro. So we wanted to create a model where we actually have not a licensed hospice where you have to do other things, but where we simply do end-of-life comfort care, where you can come to a place that doesn't feel medical, doesn't look medical, and doesn't smell medical. So you can come and just have folks love on you and keep you pain-free as you exit this life.
Well, that is such a big calling and is so important. And as a family member who has been through the hospice system, I know how important that is. And what a huge responsibility you took on and had that called upon you. So wow. That's all I can say is, wow, I can't even imagine.
Well, the great thing is when you do a ministry with God, He carries the burden. So anytime I felt overwhelmed, I would just pitch it back to Him and say, okay, Lord, this is yours. It takes the pressure off because He really does the work, and He just lets us be the hands and feet and get a front row seat to His majesty.
Oh, I love that, Cindy. That's awesome. So when you started, I know a lot of times realtors, the thing I love about realtors is they're always in their community. They're always doing something. But when you get a big idea like that, how on earth would you even start something like that? I mean, surely you don't just walk into a facility and just say, okay, well, today this is what we're doing. You had to turn to somebody and get help.
I wish I had journaled it because it's laughable. So much of it was just hysterical. I have a high school education from an inner city school and no medical background. So you have to know that God does not call the equipped, he equips the called. So when I would go meet with people, I started off meeting with the home hospice providers, and bless their hearts, they thought I was really a nutcase. Because if none of the medical community was willing to do a hospice, why in the world did I think we could do a hospice? But understanding that when God tells you to do something, he's already gone ahead of you and figured the way. It's usually not the way we think it's going to happen, because I thought he would come up with donors and all these people would be excited to participate. But the truth is that hospice is something, as you just said, until you have experienced it, you don't know what it is. And we don't like to think about end of life in this country. And so it's hard to get people excited to talk about dying. So we don't look at that aspect of it. We tell people we're all going to die. God has preordained the exact moment we're all going to die. We're not changing the end. We're profoundly changing the journey, both for the patient and their families. So we just sold it with passion, and it ended up at the end of the day that God had decided I was going to be the one that provided the funds for it, which was okay. I was blessed to have been in this industry where I was smart enough 43 years ago to know that I needed to sell our product when the market was good for sellers. And when it was good for buyers, I needed to buy our product. And so I did. And my husband and I lived on his income. He was a police officer. And we made our mind up that we would live on his income. I started when FHA was 18%. So we made up our mind that we would live on what he made, and what I made would always be for investment. So God had gone 40 years ahead of me in this journey and had already paved the way.
Well, and I imagine your real estate background really helped when it came time to find the facility and be able to get that facility ready to use.
Absolutely. And we actually bought an existing church on 10 acres. We built the hospice portion of it all new. So my background helped me do all of those things. Being in real estate for so many years also helped me reach out to people in the community that I knew. And my fellow agents have been amazing to go out and help raise money and to donate money and to support this. We have an incredible group of realtors in Knoxville and in the East Tennessee area. And unbeknownst to them or to me, when we opened 4 years ago, in that amount of time, a number of them have had family members here.
Wow. I know that I personally did not realize that you were doing this amazing work until you were nominated for the state award. And then when we had the privilege and the pleasure of watching the video that was produced and to see the facility, it is beautiful. It is amazing. And it is just heartwarming to see all the work that's gone into that.
Thank you. Thank you. And it was very important to us. So every room here is like a huge suite. And if you've got a large family, you can all be here comfortably around the clock. We have dual reclining sofas so you can sleep here, huge walk-in showers. Each room has different artwork, different furniture. So it feels like home, and it doesn't feel. And the biggest thing, I think, is there's no smell here. And if you haven't been in these situations, you cannot appreciate that. But if you walk into most medical facilities, I still can walk into a dentist office and my stomach lurches because there's that smell. And so our minds associate with smells. And the people are just flabbergasted when they come in here, and there's no smell. This place is as clean as it was built yesterday, but that's our staff. Everybody that is on staff here is here for their heart. They're here because they want to be. Yes, they need to make a living. They could make a living anywhere.
Right.
Here, they're making a difference.
Right. Cindy, if a listener or someone watching the video here wanted to support or learn more about your facility, how could they do that?
They can go to our website at sacredgroundhospicehouse.com. We have testimonials, we have photographs, we have, I think, a lot of things on there. And we do everything here with volunteers. So when you think of a 501c3 or a ministry, you think about the staff, and you have a marketing staff, and you have this, and we don't have any of those things. I'm the executive director, and I'm a volunteer. So other than our clinical staff that work with the patients every day, everything else we do here is volunteers. So our website might not be quite as snappy as some others in our marketing, but it's because we do everything. We hope one day that we will be able to have professionals come in and do things, but I tell people when they give to this ministry, they can rest assured the money is going exactly where they intend it to go.
And just for a little plug, it is right before tax season, so they can donate to this as a charity and be able to write it off on their taxes, and it's a great time to be able to do that.
Absolutely. We're a 501c3, so if you are in that position where you're now needing to take minimum withdrawals from your retirement account, we'll take it. You can pass it straight through to us and not have to pay the taxes and worry with it. So stock appreciation is the same thing. The stock market is crazy high. So if you have stocks that have appreciated and you want to ditch those taxes, you can sign them over to us without ever cashing them out. You can give us your gold. We're very frugal with money. I'm happy we are an open book. So anybody that wants to see our finances at any time, we're an open book. 88% of our budget goes to our payroll, and that payroll is our clinical staff, our nurses.
That is awesome.
The rest of us, we have 2 people that work in the office, and that's it. Everybody else here is a volunteer.
And I tell you, again, coming from experience, those nurses, they have such a calling in life. It is amazing what they're able to do.
It's, I was just looking out the window and watching our 3 to 11 nurse come in, one of our nurses. And we have a number of nurses who are retired, who work a couple of shifts a week here because they love the ministry. And every Tuesday and Thursday when Karen works, she comes in, she cooks a meal at home and brings in for our patients. So that's the kind of ministry this is. It is, when you read the testimonials, if you want to look for a nonprofit to donate to, read our testimonials. And if you've ever needed us, I don't need to explain it to you. And if you haven't, I can't.
Right. Well, let's shift gears for just a moment. Tell me the experience since you were recognized as the Tennessee Realtors Good Neighbor Award recipient, and then you were then passed on and got the recognition from the National Association of Realtors. What has all of that mean to you personally?
It's kind of shocking because I don't see that I've done much other than just get up every day and try to make a difference. And I think there are so many realtors that do that every day. Like I said, in our area, we have a great bunch of agents that really, really make a difference in the community. So I appreciate the recognition for the ministry because it's not, if I'm talking to you about abused children or orphan puppies, it's a little easier than what we actually do. So sometimes it's a little harder for us to get those donation dollars than it is things that people feel differently about. But we have to change. It is our sincere hope that we become a model across the country for hospice homes to change how we view end of life. It is a beautiful time. It can be a joyful time, and it can be a time that you get to make those final recordings with your loved ones, because there's going to come a time when you're not going to hear their voice again.
Right.
So those are the things that we try to do, is engage the families with the patients and get them to really understand how precious it is to have the opportunity to know the end is coming. I had a brother drop dead last December at 60 with a heart attack. And, there wasn't a warning. So having that opportunity is a blessing. And somebody asked me yesterday how you can come in here every day and not be depressed. First of all, this place there's nothing depressing here. It's a wonderful place, but we really focus on how profoundly we're changing the end for these people, not on the end, because we're not changing that. So it is a beautiful opportunity, and getting to tell our story is the most important part of this process to me, because I want people to start thinking about how they face the end of life and having those conversations with their families. You might not want to face the end of life the same way I do. I don't want to ever be hooked to a machine or extend my life here for a second longer than it is designed. But some people feel very differently about that. And we just need to be able to openly talk to each other at the dinner table and say, do everything you can for me, or don't do anything, or whatever. And, in Tennessee, 5 wishes is a legal document, accepted legal document for your final wishes in our state. And it's a wonderful document. And we're really, really moving into the educational phase of this, is how to get people to understand the importance of it.
Yeah, it is very important. And it's so nice and beautiful that you have created such a comfortable environment that people can choose that type of end of life and be comfortable, and it not be such a sterile, cold spot.
We have a gentleman that was selling real estate when I first got in the business was one of our first patients. And his son called me and said he cannot die in the hospital because they won't leave him alone. And they kept coming in and taking blood pressure and doing those things. And he had actually grabbed one of the nurses because he wanted to just pass. And you can't. There's lights and noises and people are bothering you. And I said, you get him here. And when he got here, I already had the blinds closed and everything ready. And I said, Freddie, that's it. We're no more. Nobody's going to bother you. In 18 hours, he was gone. But it was a peaceful, calm environment that gave his wife and son great comfort that they had been able to provide that for him.
Right. Wow. That's just heartwarming. The importance of the web choice for the National Association of Realtors, I want to share with anyone listening how they can help your organization, because a lot of times I know the recipients like yourself, you may not feel comfortable telling everybody, oh, go vote for me, because you don't feel like it's for you, but it is for your charity. It is for the facility. When people read your story and they will vote for you, you have the opportunity to have more funding come to the facility, because if you end up being one of the finalists for the web choice, you have the chance to bring $2,500 to the organization. And I think it's so important that people go and they read on the National Association of Realtors all that you're doing and vote every day, because they can click on your name every day and give you a vote.
They can sit there and mindlessly click for hours.
They can if they want to. That's true.
Because one of the things that we do, one of the programs we have here, we have a lot of churches that donate to us monthly. So we have what we call a Bridge the Gap Fund. So one of the things that people don't understand is Medicare and no insurance company will pay for home hospice care. They will not pay for room and board in any facility, no matter where you are. So there is a daily cost to that. At our place, it's $2,500 a week, which is actually less than the nursing homes in our area. But we have a Bridge the Gap Fund, because you might call me and say, I need to bring my dad there. He doesn't have any money. and all he has is a $1,200 a month Social Security check, and we're going to say, you bring him on, give us the $1,200, and we're going to use the Bridge the Gap Fund to bridge the rest of his care. And so it enables us. We don't ever want to say no to somebody because of financial means. We have provided, I don't have my papers in front of me, but we have provided about 700 or 800 days of indigent care since we opened. We've had people who the hospitals send to us who were homeless, who didn't have anybody or anything, and they would have died alone on the streets. And we don't want anybody to do that. We go in, we know when the end's coming. There's somebody, we call volunteers and say, we've got somebody that's active. Will you come sit and read scripture or hold their hand, read poetry, whatever, play a guitar, whatever it is that would comfort them? Will you come do that? And we have volunteers that come and sit and just hold their hand. And so nobody dies alone. Our nurses go in and sit with them.
Wow. That's amazing.
And we have people with families that are alone.
Right.
So,
yeah, that is amazing. I don't even know what else to say. So I want to ask you this question. If you were giving advice to a realtor who was just, maybe it's not this particular organization, maybe they're just thinking about, I have an idea and I would like to give back to the community with my idea, what would you say to them? How would you encourage them to get started?
Just do it. Just start. You'll hit a million roadblocks and bumps. Get up and keep going. It took us, I started on this journey in June of 2017. We broke ground on this facility in August of 2020. So it was 3 years. Were there times during that I thought, okay, Lord, I've done everything you asked me to do. I'm done. I'm going to the beach. Sure. But you have to just, if you believe in it, if you're passionate about it, if God's laid it on your heart, just keep going. Talk to people about it. Get people. I had so many friends in our business and outside of our business that knew what I was trying to do. And when I would get discouraged, they would jump up and start being my cheerleaders and say, no, you can do this. So just tell people around you what you're trying to do, because people will lift you up. There's power in numbers.
Yes. And for you personally, what do you see for the future of your organization?
Well, I pray that if I leave this earth today, that God will keep this thing going and that it will serve. We've served 800 families in 4 years.
Wow.
I hope we double that number in the next couple of years. I hope that we're able to educate people, to let people understand that as we get old and ill, we're not disposable. We still have a lot to give. My 94-year-old next door neighbor, she's been my next door neighbor for 40 years. She's here right now as one of our patients, and she is a delight every time we walk in her room. So we don't get disposable at any age, and just keep loving people, give them value, record those stories, all those things you want to hear. Treasure family. Life is short. I tell people every single day, the thing we forget to give thanks for most are uneventful days. And truthfully, uneventful days are a gift, because the days that we have events are sometimes not good events. So we just want to educate people and know that this place will survive and it will keep going and it will continue. The beautiful thing about this ministry is once somebody's had a loved one here, they become part of our family. So it just keeps growing with the numbers of people. We get on Facebook. We keep snacks and drinks and coffee and everything here for the families. We don't buy those things. I get on Facebook and say, okay, I need Cokes, I need chips, I need whatever, and toilet paper, paper towels, Kleenex, gloves. You can't imagine how many gloves we go through a week. But people provide those for us. And so we've got several thousand followers, and we just get online and say, hey, here's what we need. Can you help us? They can go to our website. We've got an Amazon wish list on there. So it's just always believing that what you're doing is worthwhile and sharing your passion. If people see you're passionate about something, they'll follow.
Well, you can certainly see your passion, the light and your smile and all of that. You can see how much you are really enjoying what you're doing and how much it means to you and the purpose that you're serving. And so I want to thank you, because it's not just about what you're doing for the realtors, it's what you're doing for your community and what you're doing for humankind. It's amazing, all of the things you're doing, and we love it. Absolutely love it. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And you are right. You mentioned about realtors and how the community of realtors all came around. We call it the realtor family for that very reason, because we do love supporting realtors. And I love the advice you've given for the realtors. I think over 70% of realtors give back to the community. So I think you are an inspiration to all of them. So thank you for that. Thank you. Well, we appreciate you joining in today. And I've really enjoyed talking to you. Our time has flown by. Thank you for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you and where your entry goes with this award with the National Association of Realtors. We wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you all for joining us today on the RealTea podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and colleagues. Then visit tnrealtors.com to submit your questions and topics for future episodes of the RealTea podcast. Thanks for listening.